Welcome to the Collecting Data Using Reports and Analytics lesson. My name is Doug Crookston, and I am a tech training instructor at Adobe. In this lesson, we're going to learn how data is read and collected from the pages of our website and sent into the Adobe Analytics servers. This course is divided into two components: the principles and purposes of variables, and then the actual syntax and development of the variables on the website. Business practitioners are expected to know the principles and purposes, but not the implementation of the variables. The developer and architect roles are responsible for the code development and should go through all the exercise lessons included in this course. After completing this lesson, you should be able to explain how Reports and Analytics collects data, differentiate between page-level and global JavaScript file code, and describe the sequence in which JavaScript code is read in Reports and Analytics. First, let's explain how Reports and Analytics collects data. When a visitor clicks on a link, their browser requests the page content from the site's web server. The web server returns the requested page data and images. As the page loads, the Reports and Analytics code on the page makes an image request to the Adobe server. Embedded in this request are specific analytics variables and values unique to that page. We call this a web beacon. Adobe then returns a transparent pixel image back to the page. The analytics data that was extracted from the image request is stored in specific Report Suite database tables. This data is now available to the web analyst viewing the reports in Reports and Analytics. Steps 1 through 4 happen within milliseconds as the page loads. Step 5 and 6 take a little bit of time to process depending on the type of data that's collected. Now we'll talk about the difference between Adobe Analytics page-level code and global JavaScript code. On each page of the website, we place a small section of JavaScript code. The first item is actually a call to a global JavaScript include file. We call this the appmeasurement.js file. This can be placed in the head tag, or it can be placed with the other JavaScript code. Then we place the specific traffic and conversion variables with their unique values that describe the attributes of the page. And lastly, we have a function call that executes the code and sends the data to the Adobe Analytics servers. The JavaScript file is an include library that is referenced by every page of the website. The variables in this file are global, meaning they execute on every page. The first and most important variable is the Report Suite ID. This tells the Adobe server where to store all of the website data. Then we have the configuration variables. These gather general information about our website that is not unique to any specific page. The plugin section is next. A plugin is a simple piece of JavaScript code that looks for a specific condition, and then if it's met, it will execute an action. And that action is usually populating a variable with a value. These are very handy because we code them once here in the app measurement file, yet they search every page of our site for the condition. Then at the bottom of this file, we place the Adobe Analytics base code. This is the JavaScript code that actually wraps up all the data, compresses it, and fires it off to the Adobe Analytics server. With both of these sets of code, we have a lot of flexibility in pulling data from our website. Lastly, we want to talk about the sequence in which JavaScript reads code. JavaScript normally reads code sequentially. Adobe has structured its code to be read back and forth between the page and the app measurement file. First, the page code calls the external app measurement file. Then the configuration variables are read from the app measurement file. Third, the specific traffic and conversion variables are read from the page. The s.t function on the page executes and starts creating the image request in step 4. In step 5, plugins execute and contribute more values to the image request. Finally, the image request is made and the data is sent off to Adobe. It is important to note that if JavaScript finds the same variable more than once, the later value overwrites the earlier value. This can be used to our advantage if we want to change a global variable on a specific page. For example, if we have a configuration variable in step 2, we can code it again in step 3 on that page only. By doing this, the value that's normally populated on every page is now different for this specific instance. The same is true in step 5. A plugin can overwrite the variable set on the page in step 3 unless we add a line of code to ensure there is no value already before we set one. In summary, you should now be able to explain how Reports and Analytics collects data, differentiate between page-level and global JavaScript file code, and lastly, describe the sequence in which JavaScript code is read in Adobe Reports and Analytics. Thanks for watching this training.